Namanda Vatsanamanda 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 Vatsanamanda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Super Bowl day. Glad you guys are here joining us. Today we will, I better read my script. Good morning, my name is Carrie, and I would like to welcome you to today's service. We will begin our service with opening meditation, followed by Nambutsu. Please join us in placing your hands together in Gasho.
Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda.
Please rise, if you're able, for the singing of the Gatha When We See the Golden Sun on page 227, service book, followed by the recitation of the Three Treasures and Nembutsu on page 5.
Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony and a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandavats, namandavats, namandavats.
So one thing I learned from Reverend Candace at a workshop is we were in a chanting workshop. And all of a sudden, all the MAs, when they did the chanting, all the MAs and Reverend Shibata as well, the reverends in the room, they all sat on the edge of their chair. So I asked her, as a lay person, a bumbu, why did you guys move forward? So you're supposed to be sitting straight up, which when you sit back in a pew, you don't really do. And your feet should be flat on the ground. So if you're able to sit up, plant your feet flat on the ground and chant with your diaphragm, because every reverend that I've talked to loves to hear you up on the Onaijin, but we don't have microphones, so we have to chant loud enough so that she enjoys the pleasure and the happiness of us chanting with her. So please join very, very loudly in the chanting of the Sutra Junirai on page 71 of the service book. During the sutra chanting, we will have oshoko, or incense offering, by the following: Dharma School student Chloe Ota, and for the adults, Reverend Yukiko Motoyoshi.
Keishu tenin shokugyom Amida Zokuson Saihimi Meyuandakom Muryo Bushi Shuinu Konji Kishinjo Nyo Senom Shamata Gyo Nyo Zobu Ryomokujo Nyakusho Denge Koga Chodai Midason Menzen Enjonyo Mangat Iko Yunyo Senichigat Shonyo Tenkuku Shiram Koga Chodai Midason Kwanon Chodai Kwan Chuju Shuju Meru So Sho Gom Nobukuge Doma Kebuman Koga Chodai Mida Son Mubi Mugu Kosho Shutoku Keuketsu Nyokoku Shosari Yakutoku Jizai Koga Chodai Midason Jipo Myomon Bosashu Muryo Shomajo Sandan Isho Shujo Gandhi Kijum Koga Chodai Midason Kontai Hoken Chishoke Sengon Shoujo Me 上女性の子が頂戴みだそん地方初代勝負し権限人図しやだ戦言草原職業子が頂戴みだそん小無常無我と薬女水月伝よ論異種世法無明人子が頂戴みだそん非尊仏説無悪名薬無如になく道府主任死神教非尊子が頂戴みだそん非尊無料法勉強無所主悪知識往生不体死亡大子が頂戴みだそん仮説非尊功徳寺修善無変了解水小学前言書上者衛生宗上小医公生ダブ生ダブ生ダブ生ダブ生ダブ生ダブ堪にしく徳平等正祭道恩も大心お嬢あんだナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツ
We will now listen to a very special Dharma reflection by our minister's assistant in training, May Pablo.
Good morning, everybody. Give me 1 second to set myself up here. Oh, that's good. Please join me in placing your palms together in Gassho as I read this passage from the collected works of Shinran Shonin, hymns based on gathas in praise of Amida Buddha. The light of wisdom exceeds all measure, and every finite being receives this illumination that is like the dawn. So take refuge in Amida, the true and real light. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. I received my Buddhist name in the Kieshiki affirmation on October 13th, 2024. The Buddhist Churches of America describes the meaning of this ceremony as follows. In the Shin Buddhist ceremony performed before the altar of Amida Buddha and Shinran Shonin by the Bishop of the Buddhist Churches of America, also referred to as the BCA, one takes the important step of affirming one's reverence for the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and one's determination to tread the path to Buddhahood. Regarding the Buddha's name, the BCA also states that by participating in the affirmation ceremony, one receives a Buddhist name, which is referred to as a homyo. These names are in the form of shaku and two Buddhist terms which follow. The word shaku means disciple of Sakyamuni and signifies that the person has joined the followers of the teachings of Sakyamuni Buddha, a community that transcends race or nationality. When applying to participate in the Kieshiki affirmation, we were given a sheet with homyo kanji and asked to select a kanji. The sheet had many kanji along with its meaning, like I, which means love, ji for compassion, gaku, to learn, riki, power. And after selecting the kanji and submit it with the application, Bishop Harada would pair your kanji with another kanji to complete your Buddhist name, which was not revealed until the day of the ceremony. When my Buddhist name was read out loud during the ceremony, I teared up immediately. The homyo just seemed to sum up my whole life experience leading up to that moment and beyond. The kanji that I chose was nin, which means endure. My full homyo is nin-sei, meaning enduring spirit. I used to be an avid runner, which I find hilarious because I don't like running. But a few of my close friends started running races, and I felt left out when they were training or traveling for the races. So I have never been fast, and to make up for that, I trained myself to do longer races that relied more on endurance than speed. I've done over 50 half marathons, which is 13.1 miles, 3 full marathons, which is 26.2 miles, and I did one 50K with a trail run, which is 31 miles. And just in case you don't believe me, I did bring some medals. So this first medal is from the LA Marathon, which I did with my brother, and we trained together. It was really special, but it was his first and last marathon. He didn't seem to like it very much, but this is the LA Marathon medal. My second marathon was San Francisco Marathon, which was very, very tough because it was in July. It's very hot. It's not fun to run in the heat, in case you're wondering. And I felt like at one point I was stuck in Golden Gate Park, and I thought someone was playing a trick on me because I couldn't get out of the park. And I thought maybe I ran off course or something, but eventually I made it out because I'm still here. But my last full marathon that I did was Seattle, and this one was tough because we had all seasons in that one race. It was windy, it was raining, storming, then all of a sudden the sun came out and we were baking, and then it started raining again, and then it was windy. And not only that, but it's so hilly there. No one told me it was worse in San Francisco. But I did that, and then that's kind of when I stopped doing full marathons. So anyways, training for these kinds of races is not all physical training. A lot is also mental endurance. There are so many factors that can make something a great or miserable run. Warm weather, not drinking enough fluids, wearing the wrong clothing can throw you off. If you're in a race and something is off, you have to have the mental strength to push through to make it to the finish line. I loved running on the trails and I did several trail races, but the tricky terrain adds a really challenging element, and I've had crazy things happen to me during trail races. One time I tripped and fell in deer poop. Another time, part of the race included scaling some rocks during a winter storm, and I thought I was going to slide down the side of the hill. I was very scared. And during my 50K run, one of the cattle gates that was supposed to be open for the racers was locked with a padlock, and I had to crawl underneath it to continue. And in that same race, I even encountered a snake in the middle of the trail, and I jumped over it, not knowing what type of snake it was and if it could come after me. Several times I've crossed the finish line with skinned knees, skinned elbows, and ripped clothes. There were times where I would come to tears in the middle of a race because I didn't know if I could finish. But with the help of people cheering on the sidelines, fellow runners who saw I was struggling and called out encouraging words, people at the aid stations reminding me to stay hydrated, and telling myself that all I had to do was keep taking one more step, and eventually I would see that wonderful, beautiful finish line. Life is like a lot like endurance running. You will think you're going down a certain path, and things will come along and just throw it off. And not just things like weather, hunger, or thirst. My life leading up to when I joined the Sangha was like a crazy endurance race. I was dealing with the death of a friend who had struggled with a long-term illness, and I happened to be at her home the moment she took her last breath. Seeing her suffering in her final days and grieving her passing had a tremendous effect on me. A few months later, after that, my marriage started to go downhill. I suddenly found myself in a situation where I had to pack up all my belongings in less than a day and move out very quickly with my doggie back to my parents' house for my own safety. Also happening at the same time, a cousin I was very close to was dealing with rapid spreading cancer. Then I had to sell my house, and then my doggie, who has since passed away, had a lot of health problems and needed a lot of care. And all of these things happening at the same time were very stressful. I had already begun to attend services here at the Buddhist Church of Stockton during the time my marriage was ending, and I firmly believe that the teachings I learned from the Dharma gave me the strength and hope to put myself in a better situation. I learned, and I'm still learning, some very valuable lessons that help me cope with the difficult things that happen in this endurance race of life. I learned that impermanence could mean that a good thing doesn't last forever, but it also means that a bad situation doesn't last either. I learned that attachments cause suffering, and that was a foundation that gave me the courage to end the marriage to someone I clearly didn't belong with. I learned that we're all connected in some way, and that I want to be the type of person who puts some good into the world. I like the reminder in The Golden Chain to think pure and beautiful thoughts and do pure and beautiful things. I struggle with anxiety and depression, and remembering these words helps me to look outside myself because others are struggling with their own issues also. And gratitude is a wonderful concept. When I realize that I do have things to be grateful for, it takes the edge off life when it feels harsh. And when we say, Namu Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Buddha, Amida Buddha. That is such a comfort to me. And obviously, it makes me teary-eyed sometimes when I really think about the meaning. I take refuge in Buddha. I entrust myself to Buddha. I devote myself to Buddha Dharma. And one of the most precious things I have in my life is this Sangha. The first time I attended a service, I was a little bit nervous and skittish in a way. I told myself if I feel uncomfortable or unwelcome in any way, I will just leave, and that would be that. But Reverend Shibata agreed to me right away and had me sit with Kei-san so she could help me with what was going on in the service. And ever since I have looked forward to every time I can come here, whether it's for Taiko, for service, for fundraisers, and even for meetings. The people here have been so kind and welcoming to me, and when I was approached by Sensei and asked if I was interested in becoming a minister's assistant alongside Kei-san, it was a very emotional moment. My greatest wish is that I can give back to you what has been given to me. Thank you for your greetings, your smiles, good food, thoughtful gifts, conversation, company, time, support, and welcoming me into the Sangha. Please join me in placing your palms together in Gassho as I once again read this passage from the collected works of Shinran, hymns based on gathas and praise of Amida Buddha. The light of wisdom exceeds all measure, and every finite being receives this illumination that is like the dawn. So, take refuge in Amida, the true and real light. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, May, for bringing us into your world and sharing with us. We are your Sangha. I'm going to cry. But thank you for sharing. Alex.
We will now have a wait, no, that's wrong. Sorry. Please write for the singing of the Gatha Farewell on page 156 of the service book, followed by the recitation of our pledge on the inside back cover of the service book.
Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda.
Okay, announcements. So join us for Nirvana Day on next Sunday, February 16th. Who's our guest speaker? Oh, okay. So, yeah, isn't he from Hawaii? Oh, we have a special guest all the way from Hawaii, Reverend Blaine Higa, very entertaining person. Oh, by video. Okay, but that's okay. He's still entertaining, video or in person. Japanese Treasure and Boutique Sale will be on March 29th from 10 to 12. Donations are requested. This is an interesting sale. It's not a rummage sale. It does have vintage items, mostly of Japanese origin, but they also will be serving food and baked goods. So come check it out, and if you have anything you would like to donate, please see Ruby Kato. She can help you out. Temple scholarship applications will be available in March, so high school seniors, get ready to apply. College students as well, so if you know somebody that is in college, please encourage them to apply as well. The church home and hospital visitation will be on April 5th. If you know someone who would appreciate a visit, please contact the office by March 15th. A variety of food items and small gifts will be given. These are for church members 90 years and over, residing in care facilities or recovering from an illness. Hatsumairi, the first Buddhist service, will be on May 18th. Please see the Karma for more information, and I saw applications in the office. If you're curious as to what this is, please see Reverend Shibata. I'm sure she would be absolutely thrilled to have Hatsumairi kids. Beginner pickleball will meet on February 23rd, 11 to 1:30. My understanding is no equipment is needed, just an open mind and a fun spirit. Cans and plastic bottles are now being collected by the YBA, Young Buddhist Association. There are white barrels under the carport. If you leave your recyclables there, they will gladly recycle for you. Today at 11:30, there will be a Dharma Friends Taiko session. Everyone's invited to join in the fun. And following the service, there will be coffee hour. It's in the mini chapel, so please join in. Two other announcements by flyer. There is an association of interfaith women in our community, and they will be having, it's called We Gather in Love and Peace. It is on Thursday, February 20th at 1 p.m. It's hosted this year by the Church of Latter-day Saints on Brookside Road. If you are interested, please attend. The flyer will be up here if you're interested. And then there's also another one that I didn't really read ahead of time. So there's a chamber opera on the Japanese American World War II incarceration. I believe this involves our local playwright, Philip Gotanda. Performances are February 15th, Saturday at 8 p.m. and Sunday, February 16th at 2 p.m. This is in Berkeley. It's at the Zellerbach Playhouse on the UC Berkeley campus. Tickets are $30 for adults, $15 for students. And again, the information will be up here, so you're welcome to take your smartphone out, take a copy of it if you're interested. Do we have more announcements?
So if you're interested in going to the opera, and then if you want to make a weekend out of it, there's always rooms at the Jodo Shinshu Center in Berkeley. So please contact the Jodo Shinshu Center if you want to even stay out in Berkeley. And then I just wanted to clarify, is the vintage or the Japanese treasures, is it 2 days?
It's still in discussion.
Oh, still deciding, but for sure the Saturday, 29th. Okay, I thought it was 2 days. Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
think they're still
that's it. And then we'll have the club study class, whatever that, what day is it? I don't even know what day it is. It's the fourth Wednesday of this month. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sensei. Any other announcements?
Now we will have dismissal to class. Please observe good etiquette and do not enter the aisle before the row in front of you. Those students who did not offer incense before the service are asked to do so before leaving the hondo.